Welcome to Full Force this week. We're hoping to get a real sweet list this week, or at least I am. I'm excited for this one, because this one is going to be the Blue-Red Spells deck, which I keep hearing is a lot better than it was in the previous iteration with Eldritch Moon. There's a lot of cards that kind of support that. There's things like Ingenious Scob and Thermo Alchemist, Galvanic Bombardment, all at common, that I think make the deck probably a little bit better than it used to be. I really want to believe that the deck is strong. I haven't been able to draft it a whole lot myself yet. I really just haven't taken the plunge. So hopefully tonight we'll get some really good cards and be able to get a very sweet list. I'd love to open up like a great rare where the spells already matter, something like Docent of Perfection or the Niblis of Frost. That's what I'm trying to think of, the spirit that taps things. We also have Dr. Funkenstein, or SG Doc, streamer extraordinaire in our queue, so that should be pretty fun. Ooh, well, we have a sweet list here. Sweet pack. We have Hanweir Garrison, which is quite strong. And we also have Thermo Alchemist and Ingenious Scob. It's kind of too bad because I think that we take the Garrison. It's just better than these ones. That being said, these do both kind of provide a signal to go into blue or red, which I don't really want to give. I'd rather people just take all these white and black cards and we get one of these back, but that's almost for sure not going to happen. Because somebody has to be in a color besides white and black here. And, I mean, these are just two of the better cards in the pack. Thermo Alchemist and Ingenious Scob are some of the better commons in blue and red. So, it's unfortunate, but we'll take the Hanweir Garrison. It's enough better that it's still the right pick. Now we have... not a lot. I don't like Displace. You need quite a few come into play effects, I think, for that to matter. And you should be able to pick them up pretty late because it is a common. Nobody's really going to want a whole lot of them. Fortune's Favor, I have not had success with. I've had a bunch of opponents play it against me, and it's always been absolutely miserable. So I don't know that I like taking it here. I haven't played with it myself. I've only had my opponents play it because I just haven't liked the card at all. So maybe there's a reason to take it for that. Like maybe I should take it because I should test it out and see if it's as bad as it feels. But I mean, I've played against it enough that I don't think that I'm wrong. Like, I really would doubt it. Certain Death could be a splash, and I'm not going to get a lot of removal in blue-red. Not unless I get a ton of Galvanic Bombardments. I might just splash Certain Death here. I don't like Fortune's Favor. It's a card that I really haven't enjoyed at all, so I think that I just need to get rid of it. Wow. There's some great cards in this pack. Really good green card in Somber Walled Stag. Good white card in Subjugator Angel. We're going to take Ingenious Scob or Chilling Grasp. I really like Chilling Grasp, but I think that it has to be the Scob, because like Grasp is a nice spell, but this is the payoff for having spells, and I think that we can pick up a lot of spells later, whereas I don't know that we're going to be able to get like the nice payoff cards like an Ingenious Scob that late. So I'm just going to snap it up now. And Enlightened Maniac. I mean, we're not emerging, probably, so it doesn't seem that great. Spontaneous Mutation's not going to do a whole lot either. Not unless I find... like, if I do manage to play some number of Fortune's Favor or something, that's where I guess that it would be a little bit better. And if I do hit Rise from the Tides, I might want to have something like that. That being said, I should be able to get Spontaneous Mutation pretty late. Really strong white card in Lone Rider here. Lone Rider is scary, but I think that we just take the Enlightened Maniac. Lone Rider is one of those cards where it either does almost nothing or is absolutely insane, and it really just depends on the other cards that you get in your hand and what you've built your deck around. It's kind of a build around me card. You need cards like Lunarch Mantle or other lifelinkers like Faithbearer. By the way, this pack is absolutely insane for white and pretty decent for black too with the Midnight Scavengers. We're just taking Field Creeper, I guess. Oof. Wonder who we're passing to. Are we near Doc? Oh, are we passing to Doc? No. We're a fair ways away from Doc. Okay. We're almost as far away from Doc as we can be. Man, that is crazy. These are some insane white picks, especially the Priest and the Outrider. Well, take Field Creeper and feel pretty bad that we're forcing colors here. But hey, that is the name of the game, right? We gotta see if we can get this ball rolling. And we're not gonna get it by taking a white card. Ooh, Shreds of Sanity. There's a payoff card. So I need a lot more sorcery as an instance right now, but Shreds of Sanity is a good reason to actually be this direction, because this gets us a lot of extra value. You get to search for a instant and a sorcery in your graveyard. Well, not search. You get to take an instant and a sorcery out of your graveyard and put them back into your hand. And then just discard, which sounds bad, like to have to discard afterwards, but most of the time you can just hold a land, or there's, you know, certainly a lot of sorceries and instants in the format that have madness, and they get a lot better with Shreds of Sanity. Things like Alchemist Greeting. Alchemist Greeting is actually kind of, well, not even kind of. I think that Alchemist Greeting is just bad, unless you have a lot of ways to madness it out, because it's good if you can madness it, but it's really, really bad as just a straight, you know, 5 mana for 4 damage sorcery. Like, that's just not good at all. That's not something that you'd want to play normally. But with Shreds of Sanity, it gets a lot better. Let's grab Laboratory Brute. I don't think that I want another Field Creeper, although, the advantage is that I don't have a lot of 2s, and I'm going to have a lot of 4s. So I should just take the cheaper card. Contingency Plan isn't great. I mean, if I really want to mill through my library because I get like a Rise from the Tides, I guess that it could be okay. Oh, this Sigardian Priest. Oh my goodness. Wow. We'll take Borrowed Hostility though. I've got to wonder what like somebody like Doc is talking about on his stream right now, because this is a very weird draft. There's some insane white cards going late. Let's take Fogwalker, I guess. Displace. I think that it's a better card than Bold Impaler, at least, and I'm probably not playing Cultist Staff. This deck is already going to be all in on its creatures, things like Ingenious Scob. Alright, take Inventory I might play. Right now it's just drawing a card, but if I can manage to get like another Take Inventory or 2, maybe I can go really deep on it. It's unlikely, but it, you know, might as well cling to whatever straws I can at this point. Just cut out the red cards. And another Displace. And this is why we didn't take Displace early. I mean, if we want Displaces, I think we can get them. If we get a bunch of Stitched Manglers, then Displace could go into the deck. So it's fine to have it in the sideboard for now. It's nice to have the option. Fogwalker is a slight upside. Very slight. But it is there. Providence. That is rare. That's quite a card. There's also Voldaran Pariah, which is a real card. This card is pretty insane. Make your opponent sacrifice your 3 worst creatures and make your opponent like lose most of their board, and then just have a 6/5 flyer at the end of it. Oof, pretty nasty. Here we have Vildan Pack Outcast. This card's very strong. It's just huge. There's also Deranged Whelp, which is actually pretty good, and Exultant Cultist, which I like a lot. Being able to draw extra cards is pretty nice. Ooh, we also have Wretched Griff. I don't want to have a lot of Emerge, but I do have Enlightened Maniac. Would I play Wretched Griff? We have some... This is a very interesting pack for us. There's no good sorcerers or instants. Like, I'm not going to take Borrowed Hostility this early. It's fine, but it's certainly not better than these creatures. So do I want Griff, Outcast, or Cultist? I think that Deranged Whelp is good, but I think that it's far enough behind these other 3. Kind of like the idea of Wretched Griff. I'm not going to have a lot of creatures, though. Oh, well, I mean, I'm just going to grab it. Dragunder. Dragunder is an actual good sorcery or instant here, so that's what I need. I got a spell, finally. Convolute would be okay, I guess. And I probably will end up main decking at least 1 copy of Make Mischief if I can get it, so that seems fine. Another good couple of white cards here. White just seems absurdly open. Unsubstantiate and a Dragunder. No real payoff cards. I'm not getting like the Ingenious Scobs that I need or Thermo Alchemist, so that's unfortunate. I could take the Unsubstantiate. I'm not sure if it's better or not than Dragunder. I like the draw card on the Dragunder. And Unsubstantiate, I mean, yeah, it's instant. You can turn spells, but it's not remand. Returning a spell to somebody's hand doesn't necessarily do all that much. Unless it's something where, like, they, you know, chump attacked into you so that they could blow you out with some big combat trick. It's honestly not that great. But, I mean, I think I'd rather have one Substantiate and one Drag Under than, you know, two Drag Unders. So we'll just do that. Geist of Archives. Curious Homunculus. This is actually a payoff for having a lot of sorceries. So I think that we're going to grab the Curious Homunculus. Geist of the Archives seems pretty good in our deck too, because we're going to be really slow and wanting to just kind of grind the game out long term. And Geist of the Archives does a good job of that. But I think that Curious Homunculus is just enough payoff for what we're trying to do that I should be taking that instead. Not seeing any take inventories, unfortunately, because I'd kind of like to try that. Ooh, another Wretched Griff. Clear Shot's insane. I'm not sure what that's doing here still. There's Cryptolith Fragment if I want to play Certain Death. There's a lot of decent cards here. Tattered Haunter to get just some aggro going, which wouldn't be the worst. I'm kind of tempted to just go take inventory and go really deep on it. Having a bunch of take inventories could be pretty good. But I mean, I think I'd need to have a third for it to actually be worthwhile. And it should wheel, so maybe I should just not worry about it. Take like a Wretched Griff. Yeah, maybe that's right. Either Wretched Griff or the Cryptolith Fragment so I can play Certain Death. I have no removal besides this Certain Death right now. I'm going to take the Wretched Griff. Another Shreds of Sanity. Wow. Okay. We need a lot more sorceries and instants, is what we need. Now I'm sad that I didn't take that Cryptolith Fragment, because that's going to make it hard to play Certain Death, and I need to play Certain Death if I'm playing double Shreds of Sanity. Alright. Chilling Grasp and Ingenious Scob. Oof. I want Ingenious Scob so bad because I really need the payoff for playing the sorceries and instants, but at the same time, like, I don't have sorceries and instants right now. I need something to cast to get back with the shreds to get, you know, Ingenious Scob going. I think I can take one more. I think that I'm just going to take Ingenious Scob one last time, and then we just need to take, like, every instant that we see. Alchemist Greeting, that's perfect. Oh, it works so well with Shreds of Sanity. I'm really happy we got that. And we needed more removal too, so that's a great pickup for us. Almost perfect. Ooh, and Deranged Whelp Wield. I think this card's pretty decent. I mean, 2-1 Menace is just, it gets in enough damage early that it's kind of annoying. We don't need Distemper of the Blood, even though it's a sorcery. It's just terrible, so I'd rather have that. And Make Mischief I can take. Either that or Convolute. How many instants do I have? I have to consider that I need some instants for these Shreds of Sanity. I have Borrowed Hostility and Unsubstantiate. Oh my goodness. That's really it? Almost tempted to just take Convolute then. I think Make Mischief is better. Alright, I'm going to take Make Mischief. And now we can take Otherworldly Outburst. Yeah, it seems fine. I'm never going to play Banquet, but I might as well cut the red cards. Turn Aside seems okay as a sideboard card at least, because if somebody has a lot of removal spells, Turn Aside definitely comes in. This is looking pretty sweet. I like this. We kind of have a minor Emerge theme going with double Wretched Griff. And Wretched Griff just seems insane. I mean, the card's so good. So we want to cut down on Field Creepers, probably. I don't think we can... Well, we certainly can't play Take Inventory. The other one didn't even wheel, which is weird. We've got Pour Over the Pages as a sorcery, or Press Answers. So Press for Answers or Pour. I don't want Stormrider Spirit or Uninvited Geist. They're both fine, but... Oh, wow, I totally missed Fiery Temper. And never mind, we're taking Fiery Temper. Fiery Temper is an instant, which is what we need, and it's just way better than Pour or Press for Answers. I don't know, how would I miss that at first? Just like, my eyes walked right over it. But yeah, Fiery Temper is a slam for us, and it's so good with Shreds of Sanity. Any of the ones that like deal with a creature that you can rebuy with Shreds of Sanity seem fantastic. I really love Ongoing Investigation. It's super tempting. That being said, I'm already trying to maybe splash for Certain Death. Niblis of Dusk is good. We don't have a lot of creatures, and we're going to need more. I think we have to take the Niblis. Niblis just seems like a great beater for this style of deck. I mean, we want as many prowess creatures as we can get, so I think that I take the Niblis. And it's going to be tough to actually use the green on the ongoing investigation, which is what makes it really good. It's good anyways with just the original text, but you really need to activate it for green for it to be... I think that to actually play it as like a really high pick, you need to have blue and green. You can't have just blue. Let's take the nagging thoughts here. Not amazing, but better than everything else there, and I might as well grab a sorcery while we can. Now I wouldn't mind a Rise from the Tides. Although Shreds of Sanity exiles itself, maybe I wouldn't even want it in this deck. Malevolent Whispers, I mean that's a sorcery or instant, but it's just not good is the problem. Like, not for our deck, because we're not going to be aggressive enough to really capitalize on it, I don't think. That being said, what else do we have to take? I don't think there's really anything for us. I need another Madness outlet, honestly. Shreds of Sanity is good, but I need like a Falcon Wrath Bloodseeker, or Ravenous Bloodseeker. I need something like that I can pitch to at instant speed, so I can use Malevolent Whispers as a defensive card, where I think it'd be a lot better in our deck. And same with like Alchemist Greeting, I need to use that as an instant. Gets a lot better that way. But we'll just take the Malevolent Whispers, I guess. There's really nothing else. I don't think I want Howlpack Wolf. It's just not good enough. Fevered Visions. Oh my goodness. Are we going that deep? We have Uncaged Fury as well. Uncaged Fury on like a Niblis of Dusk or a Ingenious Scop seems pretty sweet. Fevered Visions is... It is deep. It is very, very deep. I hear good things about this occasionally, but I tried to make it work back in just Shadows over Innistrad, and it was not good enough. I don't know that I really want to try it here. There's also Pieces of the Puzzle, which is certainly good. I might just take Fevered. You know what? I mean, this is full force. Let's go all the way. Let's take Fevered Visions. We should go all the way deep. Ooh, Pyrehound's fantastic. I'd like Dual Shock because it's an instant, but Pyrehound's too much of a payoff for having this many sorceries and instants. We have to take the Pyrehound. I might just cut the Certain Death here at this point. I'd like to play it in a lot of ways, but it's going to be a little bit rough to splash, and I think I have enough playables otherwise. Like, I'm going to probably play this Uncaged Fury. Just try and steal wins with that. Ooh, Press for Answers is pretty good. Yeah, we definitely need to cut Certain Death, I think. Now we have another cut to make. Could be Nagging Thoughts. Maybe just Otherworldly Outburst. I think Borrowed Hostility is just better than that. Or actually Malevolent Whispers. Malevolent Whispers isn't good for us. We're not that aggressive. Rush of Adrenaline is another instant. We have 2, 3... 4. So we have 4 instants, 5 instants. I think we're good enough on instants that I don't need to take Rush of Adrenaline over Press for Answers. Could also take Warped Landscape and try and jam back in the Certain Death. I mean, now I have the Greeting and the Fiery Temper. Drag Under Unsubstantiated. I'm just going to take Press for Answers. I think that this is better. Blood Mad Vampire. Yeah, why not? Don't think I'm going to play it, but there's no reason to take anything else. I've got other 2-drops on the sideboard, so I don't really need the Seagraph Scob. Hulking Devil, why not? None of these cards matter anymore. Pieces of the Puzzle, that could be good. I'll have to think about that. It depends on how deep I really want to go. I don't think it's good enough, actually, the more that I think about it. It's really dirtily, and I mean, unless we're trying to get a bunch of cards into our graveyard, I don't know that the payoff is really there. You can also miss on it, certainly. Even in a deck with this many sorceries and instants, it definitely happens. I've played with it a few times back in Shadows over Innistrad, and I had like 10, sorcery instant decks, and just wasn't able to find them when Pieces of the Puzzles hit. I get 1 card, and it's just not worth it for 3 mana. Alright, what are we cutting here? We have to cut 1 card. probably just be Fevered Visions, honestly. It doesn't fit as an instant or a sorcery. It's not really related to any of that. It does give us a lot of extra cards to play with, which might be an advantage over an opponent. The problem with that is that, I mean, it does also give those to the opponent, right? So it's not like... It's not as if we just get a card every turn and we're getting an advantage over our opponent. We might be able to utilize them better than our opponent, but we could easily not. I think I'm just going to cut the Fevered Visions. I mean, it was a fun pick, but I don't think that this is really where we need it. We've got a pretty good tempo plan, too. Like, we're just going to try and jam, like, a Handwork Garrison or Ingenious Scob or Niblis, hopefully Pyrehound, and then just press for answers and drag under and unsubstantiate all of our opponents' creatures that they try and throw in the way and just beat them to death with, like, one big beat stick. Kind of seems to be the plan here. Maybe get a little bit of poking in with, like, a Deranged Whelp. But yeah, I like the way this deck turned out. I think that if this is going to be a deck, like the blue-red spells deck, I think that this is a pretty decent version of it. It's not insane. Certainly not. I mean, if these were Galvanic Outburst, not Galvanic Outburst, Galvanic Bombardment, the one that deals 2 damage, and then +1 for each card named Galvanic Outburst in the graveyard, then I think this deck would be like an 8 or 9 out of 10. Right now I think it's like a 6. Maybe a little bit above average. Edging towards 7 maybe, but it's not amazing. It seems decent enough, but it could definitely use some improvement. More removal is one of the main things that I'm thinking of, like another Fiery Temper, some bombardments, an Incendiary Flow. That kind of card is something that this deck is missing a little bit. It has a decent number, but not as many as I would like. You need a lot of them, I think. Let's sort by mana cost again. Saying more mountains than islands, but I have all these early game plays in blue, although are they really that early? I'm not going to be pressed for answering on turn 2. I'm not going to unsubstantiate on turn 2, so it's really Nagging Thoughts, Curious Homunculus versus Deranged Whelp on 2. And then I have a lot more 3s. Although, actually, Shreds of Sanity I'm not playing early. And Make Mischief I'm probably not jamming on. Well, Make Mischief I can see jamming on 3 actually. But I'm not going to jam like Uncaged Fury or Shreds on turn 3. And we have a lot of 3-drops that I do want in blue. I think that we go 9-8 for blue. It also helps that Ingenious Scob is activated by blue mana. Like we need to have a fair bit of blue to give this +1/+1/-1. Because we're going to need to use that ability a fair bit to win, I think. Let's just jam with that, and I'll be back for round 1. This is a pretty sweet list. Definitely could have used more Galvanic Bombardments. Whatever we're replacing with it, like whether it's Nagging Thoughts or Board Hostility or Otherworldly Outburst or Enlightened Maniac, anything. Like I would trade most cards in this deck for a Galvanic Bombardment or 2. That card is fantastic, and it's something that you really want early for this deck. So we didn't see any as unfortunate, but we're ready to go, I guess. And here goes round 1. Pyrehound is really what we need to make this game work right now. If we lose that, we could be in big trouble. Opponent plays nothing. That is very interesting.